I couldn't even tell you where my house value is because of this. And the minute that an appraiser comes out, that's going to be the problem.
If you just have one zombie property in a neighborhood and there's, say, 10 properties for sale within a mile of that home, or within half a mile of that home, it's going to affect those homes.
Well, that menacing music aside, we're going from A to Z with topics. The Z folder includes zombie homes. That's the name of abandoned properties that have a rundown appearance and a foreclosure sign out front. The problem with these houses, aside from their deteriorating appearance, is that they're driving down the property value of neighboring houses. Once foreclosure notices are received by homeowners, a whole lot of them simply walk away and leave the home to deteriorate until foreclosure is completed and a new owner can take possession. Unfortunately, those decaying conditions also make the property difficult to sell. For the latest on this story and a potential solution to this problem, let's turn to federal tax practitioner David Selig as he joins us from Newsmax, New York. So, David, counselor, you're the lawyer in the crowd here. Upon foreclosure proceedings, banks are attempting to take back the property for sale. Isn't it in the interest of those financial institutions to ensure the property is kept up?
Well, the whole system has stalled, JD, and I've come up with a solution that we need to get put in place, and we can solve this problem in approximately 18 months. Unfortunately, what happens is when an individual falls behind, they quit the residence, the place goes to rack and ruin. Not only does it depreciate the surrounding property values, but the property taxes are frequently not paid. The banks, you would think, have a responsibility to pay. In many cases, there are not. So the solution is very simple. When a person forms the resolute decision to abandon the house, they leave, the respective county should slap a sign on that property. Then after 60 days, the property is auctioned off. 90% of those sales prices go directly to the bank in full and final satisfaction. 10% is retained by the county to cover expenses. Now, the purchaser has 120 days to restore that property to its former glory, or alternatively, is fined $75,000 and forfeits the home, and the process starts again. This is the only way. The banks have to take their medicine. And the other side of this coin is, you know, these zombie houses are magnets for problems. I spoke to a couple on Long Island. Their daughter was actually lured into one of these homes. Now, she was able to get away before anything happened. But I mean to tell you, you have drunks, drug use, squatters, sexual assault, rapes. Everything bad is taking place in these homes, and we have to draw the line and say, this is the way we're going to handle it, and that's it.
All right, now you're laying this out, and it does call for a pretty profound government presence in this to bring this about. Granted, it's not the federal government, but I'm just wondering, A, how do you respond to G, you're inserting government into the situation? Is this a problem that is so desperate it needs this kind of local remedy? And then my second question would be, since you're a tax attorney, are there some tax benefits involved in this?
Most certainly, and I have to tell you, there's twofold. Normally I'm for less government, but this is becoming a problem. The banks do not know what to do right now. Sometimes the actual process takes years. Now, anyone who lives in the immediate vicinity of a zombie house can tell you firsthand that the diminution of their property value is painful. Now the loss of tax dollars, property tax dollars, means the children may not be receiving quite as good of an education as they would have. The police are perhaps underfunded. This is a temporary measure to make sure everything works the way it was supposed to work. You know, in Nassau and Suffolk counties in Long Island, this is becoming a very serious problem, and we need our elected officials to step in and resolve this problem with finality, because the banks don't really know what to do. Now, an individual who quit the premises, they are not coming back. However, I have seen some parasitic commercials saying if you are the victim of mortgage abuse or fraud, Baloney. Let me tell you something, JD. 99.9% of these people were volunteers. They were not victims. So again, at the risk of being redundant, let's draw the line and clean up this mess once and for all.
And mindful of that, while nobody wants to lose their home, there is an amount of responsibility. Does your plan, is there something that these people who leave these homes, some sort of payment they make or something they do?
No, when a person has quit their residence, they've basically thrown in the towel. Maybe they got an employment opportunity in another state. A lot of these people are completely frustrated with the banks. On behalf of one of my clients, I have had the misfortune of dealing with a very large bank. I will not mention their name, and they are deliberately giving us the runaround, and I will tell you why. It only costs them $5 or $6 an hour to jerk somebody around on the telephone. They don't take you seriously until you bring suit against them. Well, this is a way to take them out of the equation, let them take their medicine. If they made a lousy loan to somebody with these liar loans, as they were called, then the bank has to face up to it. They're not getting paid 100 cents on the dollar. If they want to issue a 1099-C, a debt cancellation, and let's say if you abandon your home, you no longer are exempt from that taxation, that's fine with me. I really don't care. My concern is for the good people who pay their taxes, who do everything they're supposed to do, and are getting kicked right in the patoot by the government, who does not know what to do except leaning on the banks, and the banks who don't know what to do but look to the government. We've got to solve the problem.
1 minute left. You also have that $75,000 fine if the home's not restored quickly. Could that actually be a deterrent for potential buyers? I mean, given the fact some of these homes are really in disrepair. 1 minute.
Yeah, well, it may very well be, so let's get rid of those ones. Those people are probably pikers to begin with. We don't want dreamers, we want doers. Now, maybe we're going to have to make an adjustment to the mortgages. If people are going to get FHA mortgages, that they're able to take out a little more than the property presently appraises for. That notwithstanding, we need people with the financial wherewithal to restore these homes, not people who have always dreamed of home ownership. A lot of those people are what got us into this mess, and we shouldn't forget it. You know, we're very quick to blame the Wall Street guys and the mortgage bankers, but let me tell you, there were a lot of liars on the other end of that application.
Fair enough. David Selig, as always, sir, we appreciate your comments, and what's more, we appreciate the fact that in addition to bringing strong comments, you bring a possible solution. So there you have it, the Selig plan for dealing with zombie homes. And no, Zombie Homes is not some real estate company. There's more ahead, but first, this Newsmax Now update.